Best Medicine Podcast with Simba. Sparking positive change in the community. Having real conversations and therapy. You know that laughter's the best remedy. Got that heavy dose of humor for your hearts to heal. With mental health, it can't get any more real, yeah. Best Medicine Podcast. Laugh, love, learn. Best Medicine Podcast.
Best Man Pod, it's your man Simba Roar back in this thing one more time, bruh. And today, haha, you can hear it in my voice that I'm juiced. I have a wonderful special guest. If you listen to the diagnosis, you know that all I have are special guests. And today ain't no different. The only difference is that I have a wonderful special guest. Whenever I see this woman appear, I'm like, wow, she is wonderful. like what? Like, how do you walk in? You don't even have to, she doesn't have to walk in a room. She just appears. And it's like, it's probably how people feel when Prince walked in the room. It's like, there's a type of energy that moves with this woman. And every time she appears, it's like, just like pixie dust just follows her. It's like a smoke. It's like a purple smoke of royalty and wonderful. She's an amazing poet. She's an amazing life coach. She's an amazing woman. Today, I have Natriece Spicer, a.k.a. Essence Mahogany, in the building.
Hey, I am trying to figure out who this wonderful person is. That you just thank you.
For the record, whatever this voice is that she's giving right now was not was not how she was talking 2 seconds ago.
I give many voices, as you guys will figure out. So we'll just run through them. This is I'm still in shock trying to figure out what I did to deserve such a wonderful introduction. Like, it's so awkward to hear people. I don't know. I'm always trying to get used to hearing people regard me or talk about me. Mm-hmm. I'm so humbled. Like, I'm always just like, I want to be her. Like, when you guys meet her, I want to be her friend. Like, I love her.
You know, the thing is you don't see yourself from our perspective.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't think about how you affect us when you are around.
Yeah, because I'm like pixie dust. Like,
come on now.
Come on now. Come through. Yes. But it's good to be here. Like, I'm so excited.
Yes, you are a woman of many hats, and I'm glad that you took the time to sit down on this couch, this futon, and chop it up with me for a minute.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having some honest, uncut convo.
Yes.
I have no clue what I'm about to tell y'all, so this should be good.
I got her, y'all. I got her.
This should be good. You can ask me anything.
So, but as a host, though, you're the host of
DopeEra Poetry Open Mic.
Yes. So So when you, as a host, you know, she got one up on me because she rhymes the coming to the stage.
It's only there though. I don't rhyme everywhere.
I didn't have nothing to rhyme with stage, guys.
Clearly, he don't do the rhyming. You good. But you take the most phenomenal footage and pictures. So I think that makes up for rhyming. I take a sucky picture. So I better be able to introduce my friend.
Yeah.
But that's just there. Like when I host other places, I don't always rhyme.
Oh, okay.
You got to do what works for the territory.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you guys can hire me. I can do non-rhyming hosting.
Nah, you got to have her rhyme. She brought me up. I was like, oh, I don't even perform. And she had me up there like, I'm the shit.
If your friends don't gas you up and make you feel good, you need some other friends.
Come on now.
Them ain't your friends. Oh, you see, it switches. The lingo, that was the term. Was that the term you were waiting for?
Yes. We got her now.
You got me. It's good.
So tell my millions of listeners who you are.
Who am I?
Yes. Who are you?
I'm a being who's full of a lot. Like, just that question, I feel like we always go into these spaces of titles and roles. But really, I am a human who loves other humans.
Yes.
I love to connect with people. I'm somebody who believes that love is my superpower. And I'm not sure how many times I may have been here, but I'm just trying to really be whomever I need to be in the moment to make the best of what I got right now.
Definitely. That is important for many reasons because, like you said, I don't know how many times I've been here. I always say that this is gonna be my last time here.
You gonna get it right?
I'm getting it right.
You getting it right?
I'm getting it right this time. Since I was born, I feel like as if I've been getting it right. This is the one. I feel it.
I'm glad for your confidence.
So this is gonna be the last time y'all see me.
I'm glad for your confidence. The last time y'all see me. I might have to do 3-4 more rounds. I don't know. Man. I'll tell you why though.
Tell me.
From what I've learned, and this is like in all seriousness, like we joke about like making the best of the one life we have, but in all seriousness, I've been doing some reading about like birthmarks and just in some conversation, and I figured out that I have enough marks that let me know I've had to do this a lot of times, so I don't know if I'm gonna get all the mess ups right. One last time.
You got a lot of D- and F's.
Man, I think I broke ground. I think I'm doing a steady B on this trip.
Good.
So like we might have only one more trip, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Like y'all think that I be having it together.
Yeah.
Like seriously, and that's why I like these opportunities to sit down and be off the cuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it all together.
Right.
And y'all, I don't know. I know it looks like I just appear and I levitate into spaces, and I love being able to be a goddess who's got that grace.
Right.
But let me tell you.
Tell us.
The floating is after falling, gnashing of rocks and waves.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said I'm floating because my legs don't work.
Hello, somebody. Okay. I had to learn how to stay midair because I've drowned, I've tumbled off mountains, I've been burned alive, I've been scorched and scarred, cut to pieces and shreds. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't look like what I've been through. All right. But she didn't been there and done some stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this time to average my B.
I've been she's average my B.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my B and head on out.
She's been here for a good hour now, and I've been crying the whole time. I just want to shout out. We have a studio audience today.
Yes.
I don't usually have a studio audience. Big Casanova, the producer extraordinaire.
Yes.
Big C Nova on Instagram.
Love to see Nova.
We got your poetry daughter in the building too.
My little baby Lyric. My
Super
little baby
Duper Lyric in the building.
I love her. Shout out to Super Duper Lyric. She just featured at my weekly open mic, DopeEra, and she was phenomenal.
Definitely.
Which you know how I am about that kind of stuff. Like, yes, of course, tender to her, but just in general, like watching the development of people and the maturation of your craft, like that kind of stuff, like blow my buttons. Y'all be blowing my buttons. Like just doing you.
Yep.
For real. You want to see me like get giggly and lovey-dovey and be all like how y'all say that I appear? It's only because y'all give me that energy and like lift me into this position by just the sheer capacity to just engage with people in their own essence and see you glow or see you fight through the dark, just to see you however you be.
Right.
Like
definitely.
That give me life,
I
man.
definitely see that. So talk about DopeEra a little bit.
Well, DopeEra.
Yeah.
Like nothing you've ever seen.
How did you get a part of it? Why
so,
are you the face? Why are you the host?
Okay, so he want to know the details.
Yeah, I do.
So I feel like it's nothing you've ever seen, and I'll tell you from my experience, I've been to enough open mics and enough scenes where there's always kind of a culture that's created, and I feel like what's happening with DopeEra is that we're really building something where anything goes to the extent that you just need to be genuine.
Definitely.
Like you can come as you are, you can be who you are, you can engage at any level of your craft or artistry. Just don't come in here trying to put up facades or do things for recognition or do things because other people are doing it. Like be you, embrace that, and use the space to make that work for how you want it to work for your genuine presence.
Definitely.
And so I think that that's different comparative to what is frequent in the Bay Area.
Right.
Not different compared to universal poetry culture.
Right. Because I've taken the pictures at a lot of open mics, and it's a lot different. Yeah. In various places.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you have sunglasses on it in here?
And it's nighttime.
It's nighttime. We're inside. You're performing
on stage.
The only person that can get away with that for me is Ghost. upside down ghost.
Now, no, nobody gonna do my ghost. Now, he don't even count. Anything ghosts do, you can't
he's
even.
A different,
He's ghost.
Yeah.
So we just gonna leave that right there, and then everybody else who does what ghost does, you ain't him.
Yeah.
So okay, so that clarifies that.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
like for real, I just think that it's a different kind of space.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that probably is why I was chosen. So I didn't ask. So like, we'll just let the cat out the bag. I'll give y'all some. So DopeEra is not right exclusive because nobody asked these questions, but I gather you're a good question asker, so you're asking what the people want to know.
Talk about it.
So I'll be real. I didn't pick DopeEra. I wasn't scoping out to host DopeEra, and I didn't create DopeEra. It's actually an open mic that was created by Stanley Cox, which everybody knows as Fabby Davis Jr. or Mr. Fab or King of the Hyphy movement or Freestyle King that everybody knows. A lot of monikers, right? Mm-hmm. He created it because he wanted to have a space to go back to his roots. Right. His love is poetry. That's how he started rapping.
Right. Shout out to the OG.
Shout out to my mentor.
Norfolkland's finest.
I'm not going to call him an OG because we all young around
OG.
this thing.
He's my OG.
He's trying it right now,
y'all. I saw him when I was in elementary school, and he had at the Mosswood Park at Mosswood Park. He was giving a come on, bro. I'm not fronting out here, bro. Shout out to my OG from North Oakland, man. I'm from North Oakland, so that he's the king, man. Like he had his promotional. See, I'm gonna get in trouble. Fab, bro, I fuck with you. He had his promotional flyer.
You can't not
it was like $100 bill, right? But it had his face on it.
That's right.
It said Mr. Fab.
That's right. He's been serious about this since he was a teenager. Yeah. I believe as early as 15, he had already manifested in his spirit that he was not going to work for somebody. Really? He was going to be an entrepreneur, and he was going to not just survive, but thrive in his homeland. So I always give props to him. I love Stanley. Yeah. But you got me cracking up how you are like really dating. Like I'm like trying to, I don't know if I want to put my head down, try to play back a few years, or just own up to my wisdom.
This is like 03. God damn it. It's 03, 02, 04, right before the boom of the hyphy movement.
So I'm not going to tell y'all what I was doing or how old I was, because y'all know y'all love to pull numbers. That's why I'm saying, why you opening up cans of worms? Talk about some OG. We just going to go back to the subject at hand.
I didn't say that y'all was the same age. You might be 10 years younger than him. I don't know.
You know, I love his perspective on life right now, you know.
We not talking about how old you are.
And that's, you know what?
Stanley, we know how old you are.
And that's exactly why Stanley called me out. Because he don't know, and y'all don't know, and nobody knows. But if you ask me, I will tell you. I have no age shame. But I think that was another part of why it just was a good fit, right? I wasn't looking. He had a few events. I came fairly new. I think they've been in operation for maybe a month. Okay. And I just came and I performed. And the next time, he was like, "You're the host." He was like, "Come here.
That's a blessing.
You're going to be the host. Yeah. This is you. This is your platform.
That's beautiful.
Do this." Yeah. And he was like, here's the mic, and you host it for the rest of the night. And I was like, wait, oh, you mean for like,
this is you.
Yeah, like he was, then that was it.
Yeah,
and so from there, I just took it on, and it is a beautiful thing, and it just was one of those things that lined up. Like I started hosting with Bree Blue. Shout out to Bree Blue, Speak Easy.
Shout out.
That was my first professional hosting opportunity, and so you fast forward 5 years later, and now I get other opportunities to do amazing things. Like I open up for authors. I've spoken at various different events, from being a host and then being invited to speak, and so DopeEra is my baby.
Yeah, because randomly, a friend of mine told me they were going to a book release. Yeah, and you were the host.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, Trees hosted. I was like, oh wow. Yeah. Was it her book? He was like, nope. Yeah. I was like, okay, right, that's cool.
You get money. You get money when you put yourself out there.
That's real.
That's a lot of the biggest opportunities are behind the scenes. So you know that though.
Yeah. That that's what I wanted to talk about next. This wonderful woman right here, right? She told me, she said, "Hey, look, motherfucker. Look, little motherfucker."
I did not cuss. It was not no cuss.
Would I lie to y'all?
It was a non-cuss cuss. Y'all know what a non-cuss cuss is? Y'all know black women.
Best man love.
We can look at y'all like we cussing and ain't got the cut. Watch.
Oh my gosh.
I cuss?
I'm triggered. I'm back in church. I need to be quiet. I'm triggered as fuck.
You know I ain't cuss.
She said, look, she grabbed me up on my collar. She was like, look, listen. Let me get my story out. She said, listen here, little motherfucker. Look, I challenge you. 30 days. Every time you see a microphone, get on that motherfucker.
Okay, he might have a little bit of truth to that.
And I'm like, why are you yanking me like this? She's like, you don't remember. She was like, every time you see a microphone, get on that motherfucker.
There was no.
I was like, oh, yes, ma'am.
There was no.
And I corrected him. I fixed my collar. I was like, yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I was like, Cass, you ready to go?
I'm going to do it.
But honestly, after that, I performed.
Okay, I might have bullied him a little bit.
I performed, I believe, 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
So, he says that I was a little bit abrasive.
I was afraid.
But fear worked. Fear worked. See? So black women all across America. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, snatch up your little.
Snatch him up, grab that collar, you turn for the next 30 days.
But I love that because.
Tell you do right by me.
Yeah, exactly. I love that because you need people in your life that's going to challenge you to do better.
Yeah.
And you saw something in me that said, hey, you need others to see who you are. I might see you, and I know you, and I see you in these places.
He was listening, y'all. This is exactly what I'm saying.
I always listen. I always listen.
I gotta be careful with you. You pay attention.
I do. I am, and I not only do I listen, I retain very well.
Yeah.
And I can, especially if it's important.
Gotcha.
So she challenged me. I performed multiple times within that month. And I felt good about it. I usually, my motto is I only perform when I feel weird. Because that's what I feel like I need to release something.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. But, it was fun. I performed, shout out to EB on his Wednesdays, his WINs days that he has. I performed one song. And he didn't come up to give me the microphone, or to take the microphone for me. I ended up performing like 5 songs. I featured for like 20 minutes.
Says the guy who didn't even want to be in front of the mic.
I was just going through my phone. I was like, y'all want to hear this? All right, play. And I get back on the...
See, and this is what's so crazy.
Yeah.
This is what's so crazy now. So how long were you holding on to that information? Like, how long did you have those songs? How long have you had...
Oh, years. This is years. But that's why I don't perform. All of my work is old. All of my work is like between 19, 20.
So the people who heard it, they listened to it like it was old?
Nah, they loved it.
Oh.
They loved it.
Okay.
And I was asking them, I was like, am I trash? Like, y'all like this?
This is why I don't listen to y'all when y'all come with these objections.
I didn't have any objections.
Now you don't.
But when you said it, when you snatching me up, I was like, yes, ma'am.
We going back to the snatch up now. I feel attacked.
I was attacked. What are you talking about?
But it worked.
It did work.
But it worked.
It did work. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Somebody who I hold to high esteem lyrically.
Yes.
Said, hey, that was dope. And I was like, okay. Yeah, 23-year-old me was gassing.
See?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't write as much anymore because I've learned at that age. I was writing because I didn't know how to communicate.
Makes sense.
I'm still introverted, but
yes, you are.
I was very introverted and I didn't speak unless I knew you. I didn't talk unless I was comfortable around you. And that came from, I was raised by my grandmother, and my mother passed when I was 7. So I was raised by my grandmother, and she wasn't the best of mothers to me. And that caused me I had to be quiet. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't express what I wanted to express. I couldn't get my ideas out without her feeling like I was challenging her.
Right.
So it caused me to create this shell of myself. Yeah. And when I get angry, when I get upset or frustrated, I just shut down.
Just completely shut down.
Because of that. Because if not, then I'm gonna have this lady yelling at me
in your head,
and God knows what else she'll do to me. Yep. So that is a part of it. But I don't have that as much anymore. I had to push myself out of that to where when I was going to events, I'm especially when I don't know anybody in the room. I'm introducing myself to everyone. I'm coming around the room. Hey, how you doing? Because I usually go early. So
Yeah,
by the
you're
time
very much like a get there when it's calm kind of person.
Yeah, so that by the time everybody else
but
gets
that's
there.
your introverted spirit.
Exactly.
That's you managing your introverted psychology.
Because I can still get that.
Right.
Hey guys,
Exactly.
and then I can just withdraw because now enough people in the room have seen
you, and you feel like you've done your due. Plus, those people will tell other people that you're there, or make a mentions or introductions.
Exactly.
And then now you've got like it's like the little street deploy. So you got your street team like representing you, and so you're technically not being introverted because you're being out there, but you are because there's like that wall.
Yep.
So I know how it works. Like, and I totally agree with you that that's something that is a challenge to work through. And as far as just the root of being withdrawn when those moments happen. And it's crazy that you mentioned that because literally the next episode that's dropping on my podcast is called WTF, man.
Okay.
Because we all have those moments like where you don't know what to feel, face, or fix when like life is happening, right? And I was talking about how one of the 3 major things that people do is like become the shutdown. Yep. And for some people that looks like running away, doing drugs, partying, like, oh, you didn't come back and take care of the baby was because I was like, what? WTF, right? But for other people like you, it's like taking all of the genius to have solutions, all of the creativity to change the dynamics of the situation, and all of just like the input that is you and bottling that up and then saying, I'm gonna preserve it because it's worth something. Right. I'm not gonna let anybody have it. Yeah. Because then they can't tell me that it's wrong or refuse me or shut it down. So it's safe if I keep it in here. And I'm like, no, we can't do that either. But I love that you are somebody who's been able to like self-navigate that whole introverted mindset and just like figure out that like a part of me needs this because the world is a mean, scary place. Yeah. But then a part of me is becoming a prisoner if I live inside of that.
Exactly. So, that's what I became, which is a prisoner of thought.
Yeah, but we all are. Like, I mean, literally, that you weren't becoming anything. You were being what you already naturally are with the tools that you had. Right. And so as you become, it's crazy. But as you learn how to be a better inmate, you get a better part of the prison. Yeah. Because none of us is free. It costs something for everybody to live. And so no matter what you do, if you had even an extroverted mindset, or if you had what some would say an aware or mindful mindset, no matter what, you still become a prisoner of a thing. Definitely. Right? Because you're confined to the thing you know and believe in. So like, kudos. Thank you. For just like sticking with it and like dealing with your part of the prison and being like, okay, I ain't gonna get in solitary, right? Yeah.
No, because you get released early for good behavior.
Hello, somebody, right? And so I know we're using this metaphor, and it's like for some people it might seem like, well, why are they correlating prison to like just being who you are or trying to deal with people in life? Because that's how it feels a lot of times, right?
And we're smarter than you.
Well, he said it.
I said I didn't. So you a part of it too. You accomplice.
Okay, well figure out if I'm smart or not by following me on my podcast and doing the work. And if you do the work and it changes your life, I'm not saying I'm smarter, but I'm just saying I had something to offer. So
shout out your podcast. What is your podcast?
Shout out to the podcast, the Inspired Life Podcast with Natriece Spicer. Stream it anywhere, find it everywhere, Apple and Spotify and all those other places that don't sponsor me, so thou shalt not name. But you can find us everywhere, wherever you can find Defy Life. So tune in. But I just love your ability to like take those experiences and correlate it to the you now. Yeah. Like to make that big old gap, like 2 points in your life, and to be able to connect those dots. Like, man, my blood flowing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. He killing confidence, growing, leveling up, connecting the dots. That's what I'm talking about.
I got that awareness from 6th grade. We had what was called Peace Patrol, and it was conflict mediation. Yes. So I learned conflict mediation at 11, and it helped me solve other people's problems, which then in turn helped me solve my own problems with myself.
Oh, if we could all just...
Yeah. And then, in turn, helps me
I wish we could.
solve solve conflicts with my grandmother. Yep. To where it was like, okay, you're yelling, but That ain't got nothing to do with me. And then I stopped internalizing it, and then she hated it even more.
Yeah.
She was like, why aren't you as upset as I am? Like,
word to the happy
because
people.
You're tripping.
Yeah, the angry folks are just, that little line in the center of their forehead, it's only going to grow the more you increase your joy. So you just got to make it up in your mind that, like, it's all good.
Yep.
Like, however you feel about how I feel, I'm good with that.
Right.
And really, for real, like, I'll be good with that.
One of the funniest things, one of the funniest dialogues that we had back and forth was, I was like, blood, stop tripping. She said, I'm not your blood. I was like, you kind of are.
So technically.
Yeah, like you.
So if you make my mom.
Lineage. Come on, family tree.
That's like one of the worst things you could do to a black woman, though, is like correct her when she already mad. It's like, which is really unhealthy and toxic that we are like that. Yeah. But it's hella funny. Like, yeah, if you ever want to see a black woman explode, just tell her she's wrong. In the height of her anger, just say like, but you're wrong, and just watch the whole world turn literally upside down as her neck spins around on her neck and her hair sticks out straight. Just watch.
Man. Oh man, shout out to black women.
Yeah, shout out to us, but don't do it to me. Don't try me. Try God. Don't try me. I'm not.
So, I had the pleasure of seeing you at Acapella. Can you talk about your experience with Acapella and what Acapella is?
So, Acapella Poetry is just a different type of platform in and of itself. It's definitely high level, upper echelon experience. Allows you to have a bigger platform, spearheaded by Imhotep up in Sacramento.
Shout out.
Really beautiful venue. It's at the Rink.
Yes, Rink Studios.
And
it's a beautiful place.
You talk about just an amazing, professionally crafted, high digital, functional, kind of just like super nice setup. Mm-hmm. Like, I was just like, this is dope, right? Yeah. But also the intimacy. To be able to talk to people in a setting where, like most poetry environments, there's something kind of swanky going on, right? They keep it dim. They try to have like the wine and cheese feel to it. Love Jones, Lovers Lane kind of thing going on. But this was different because it also felt mature. Definitely. Aware. Definitely. Attentive. Like you could tell that the people were really engaged in what you had to say. And so I enjoyed myself. Plus I love to give a show. Yes. I really believe you could be you could be the dopest poet, but like people want to see a show. They want you to perform, and not just to perform your poetry, but to perform you. Yes. Create a world for me to live in for these 15, 20 minutes. And that's what I do. Like, I like to have you come into my space and like create this mini universe that is encompassed with all these things that are around us. And I don't want you to forget all that, but I want you to be present and vibrant and existing and enthralled inside the space I bring you into, even though you know the whole wide world is going. Like, I want you to still know the world is going around and be in my space and be like, but damn.
Be very intimate.
But damn. Yeah. I didn't forget that the world is happening, but I can't feel it and I don't care. Like, that's how I want people to be, you know, and then leave and have something you can take back out into that reality, into that world, into what you do outside of hanging out or coming to see my venue or see me speak or whatever it is. And I try to do that no matter what I'm doing. Right. Like, whether I'm performing poetry, teaching a workshop, doing an impact speech. I hate to call it motivational speaking. That's another episode coming up. Like, I'm tired of the word motivation
versus impact.
Like, I'm not motivational. Like, and I'm gonna just start being real mean if people don't stop saying that until they get it through their heads. Like, I don't care about you being motivated. Right. I don't need you. Do something. When I hemmed you up, you didn't feel motivated.
Oh, now you hit me up, huh? Now you hit me up.
Well, whatever. They gonna say what they want to say, sis. Do you, sis? Do you, sis? Don't let them. Do you, sis? Let them think what they want to think, as long as it gets the results. So, like I said, when I hemmed you up, you got afraid enough to take action. You didn't feel motivated.
You were very impactful.
But it was impactful. That's what I'm talking about. So 2020, I was just like, I've been too nice, and people, I'm tired of this word. I cringe, and I play nice.
Because you can be motivated and not do anything.
Well, I mean, I'm doing something by motivating you.
Right.
But what the hell are you doing with the motivation when you don't feel motivated? When you take that little motivation and you tuck that in your pocket, oh, Trees gave me, it's cute, okay. And then you go away and life sucks. Do you pull the motivation out or do you cry?
Right.
I want you to cry and get up.
Get up. Yep.
So therefore, I need people to not be motivated. I need you to be inspired.
Yes.
I need you to be impacted. I hope I sit so hard and heavy on your chest, so loud in your mind, and so steady deep down in your gut up under your visceral fat that it makes you sick to not take action. I don't give a damn if you like me or you feel good about what I say. I'm not here to be your friend.
When you hit me up,
tell your friends.
When you hit me up, I definitely was sick. I was sick to my stomach. I was like, why should you do that to me in public?
You know what? You looked at me too like that, like, could you?
She's grabbing me right
feel inappropriate. This don't even feel right.
No one's around.
Grown man,
I have no witnesses.
He was like, it's like it's both ours, but we gonna keep it at my mama's house.
Shout out to you. No.
No, but it worked. Though.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this this year. Show me something tangible.
Come on.
Because you could talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, it's gonna look like this, it's gonna look like this, but show me something. Yep. Can I do something to actually make what we're talking about feasible? And is it real? Can I touch it? Can I see it?
But it's too much of that though.
Yeah.
Like it's too much of that, and so that's another thing that I'm really trying to go against this year. Like I spent the first couple years. You want to really kind of build your client base, get acclimated. When you're building any kind of business or developing a brand or anything, you have to be very observant, right? But the whole time that you've been living, you've been observing too. So it don't take you that long to figure out who people are, how they operate, and where the problems are. We are so good at talking the talk. Like, and even in art, even in poetry, you can paint a beautiful picture. Oh, this is what it looks like when we get along, elevate, follow our dreams. You can talk about what it looks like when you love right, do better, be better, pursue your passions, yada, 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 yada. What move have you made? Right. Like, when I see people coming out to open mics, and you can perform and you can talk so much about the beauty of being you and culture and how you need to fight against oppressive actions and things that just aren't good for humanity. Right. But I see you go and be a horrible human to yourself.
To yourself? Yeah.
Yourself who you with before you had anybody else. Yourself who's there with you when you're not on stage. Your same self who you package up and dress up to look like it's together so you can go and heal people and help them save their lives while you die on the inside. Right. I just have a problem.
Can't do it.
Like, it's okay for you, but I don't want to sit in that circle. Right. I don't want to keep talking to you for you to go home and still destroy yourself, for you to still allow the things that eat you up at night to take away the little bit of life you could have. Like, I don't want to be the one who motivates you to allow that behavior to keep going. I hope I make you uncomfortable and pissed off. I hope I hit you where it hurts.
Yes.
You got nuts? I hope I just grabbed them. Seriously, do you feel the pinch?
Yes, I did.
Do you feel the pinch?
I did.
Okay, lift your leg, open your thighs, and stretch. Take action to fix it. I hope you stay uncomfortable, sis. All on your head. Do you feel your edges leaving? I'll take all this hair off your head till you get it right and get your scalp intact. Yeah. Like, we're going to do this thing grassroots, ground up, proper or not. Yeah. So
you just told Lyric, you said, I'm going to stay on the same square with you until we fill it up.
Till you fill it up. Because otherwise you're just talking about empty boxes. And I feel like millennials are in a position where, like, it's our time, right? And so big business is crumbling, old ideologies are falling down, and we really have a chance to build something genuine. Definitely. But damn, some of y'all younger ones, like, and I'm dating now. I'm gonna date myself. I'm
you ain't the youngest.
The end of the millennials.
I'm an older young one.
Whatever. I'm an old young G, a young OG. However you want to put it, you gonna pay me and not play me. Now know that. So these younger ones philosophize everything, and that's why I was telling her that. Because she's good with the metaphors, the phrases, the words. She learns it. It's her. It's what you do. You know, it's just the thing now. I don't care about none of that crap. You can call yourself whatever the hell you want to call yourself. Get it together. Yeah. Figure it out and move forward and figure something else out. Because you got a whole long life of stuff to figure out. Right. I don't got time to play with y'all with all these categories and these. I don't know. No. Get your life. Yes. Okay.
It's an A, it's a B, it's a C.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your life. Right. Okay. Right. Figure out what kind of job you're going to have, what kind of person you're going to love, what you believe spiritually, learn how to recycle and pay attention to the earth, and then go out here and be a functional human because you're sitting up every day lost in one thing or another. Yeah. It's too much.
Definitely.
So we're going to do one thing until you get it right.
Yes.
We got to start filling in the gaps. Right? And we say that about community. Oh, black people have so much talent, but we need this. Oh, our kids are so beautiful and special, but they lack that. Oh, we could have more representation if we had X. Fill you in first. The fullness of who I am contributes to my community.
Definitely.
My family. My job. You know? And that's what I was telling her. Like, you have to know who you are and be able to work on that in order to contribute to anything else. And if you're not working on that, then everything you're doing is half-staff. Like, I don't care how dope you think you are when you get on stage. I don't care how many people clap, cheer, or whatever. To me, if you're going home and you hate your life, it's a loss. Yeah. If you're going home and you can't deal with the demons in the closet, it's a loss. Yeah. If you're going home and every single thing you dressed up on stage, you have to take off and turn away, it's a loss.
Yeah, you're going on stage with a costume on. Yeah.
Like, come on. And we've been doing that far too long. Yeah. Just like black people, colored people, broke people, poor people, people that don't get love from America in general. We've been doing it far too long. You dress everything up to just try to keep carrying the pieces. When you gonna fill it in? Right.
I just watched last night. Don't Nobody Is My Name. It was a good movie. It yada its way through it, but it was just like the messaging was really good. He was like, he told Queen, he said, I'm not a pimp. He said, touch this. He said, touch this. He said, don't grab it. Don't touch it too hard. You yank it off. It's like, no, I put the costume on to then perform. This ain't me, but that's what they want. This is what they want. Sometimes people do that. Sometimes people can't give themselves. They have to put on that. I also watched. It was an episode of Atlanta, and the young lady was interviewing for a teacher's position, and the principal was a black woman, and she kept using her name in the third person. So, and then we got into it. At first, it's like, oh, it's just funny. She thinks she's the shit. Yeah. But it got down to it where the girl was being shown pictures that children have drawn. And one of the little girls had a picture of, I'm going to forget, but it was a suggestive type of picture. Okay. And then the principal explained to her, it's like, yeah, some of these children draw their traumas. That's right. And this is this little girl being touched or being looked at because she's overdeveloped and things like that. And sometimes we have to disassociate ourselves from the lives we live. So that's why, I might be the principal and be this fly and all this, right. but when these traumas were happening to me, I had to disassociate myself. That's not me. I am, and then she uses the third person again.
That's right.
It's difficult. It's difficult, one, to truly be who you want to be because a lot of people have not taken the time to figure that out.
Which is what I'm talking about, filling the square.
Right.
Filling the square. And even when you figure it out, it's hard though. I won't even begin to pretend like that's not a whole other thing in of itself.
One of my oldest friends, shout out to Gabby, she hit me on Instagram and she was like, how do you do it? Like, how did you do it? Like, you've been this same person that you've been since kindergarten. Like, how is this possible? Like, it's because I'm myself at all times.
Regardless of what life is doing.
Right.
But that's hard. That's a skill that not everybody has. I mean, look at what you just said in and of itself. It's just like, first of all, people don't even know who they are to be themselves all the time, right? And even saying that is a loaded phrase that sometimes goes over our people's heads, like, well, what the hell do you mean? You're you. How you don't know you? Okay, well, even if we want to take that, a lot of us live lives where we are constantly being presented with the idea that who we are isn't enough. And it makes it very difficult to go in the world and present that, especially when you've heard that enough times to where now it's not even about I believe it because I heard it. I believe it because I've experienced it. I've gone into a place and not been enough. I've gone into a space and felt ignorant. I've gone into a space and couldn't show my vulnerability or my smile or my true character or be invited to have a voice because I was being blocked out. Right. So it is something to apply when you have a friend like yourself who someone sees is able to do that no matter what. Like that's why I hemmed you up. Yeah. Like if you're able to, so you think you could just be yourself all the time, but then you feel like you don't have a duty to do that in a more forthright way. Right,
and give that to other people.
Who are in your same position, who need that, but also to give that to yourself. Right. What I was telling you wasn't about, because you can't give what you don't have. Right. See, you need a budget. Mm-hmm. You can't go and buy nothing for your community with a budget that you don't have. Right. I'm telling you, it's a disservice to you to be able to do something and just decide, I'm not going to. Mm-hmm. But it could be the thing that changes your life. 100%. And so when I see people who have that extra thing that you don't have to worry about not knowing, I'm like, man, we really gotta we gotta get you figured out. Definitely. Like, so for your friend Gabby, like that's dope to be able to reach out and say that a lot of people don't have that ability to be honest.
Yeah, they don't. And the two pillars of this show is honesty and vulnerability. You can't. I don't want to talk to you if you can't do those two things.
That's what heals us, though.
Exactly.
That's what heals us, and I think that's what made a really good means for me to be on this show is because I know. So I know that I do know that I give a lot, and I do know that I am a lot, and I have a lot. Right. And I also know that people don't always know how to place that, right? You meet me in a poetry setting, and it's like, okay, she's a poet. Then you hear me say something else. It's like, hey, well, who are you, and what the hell
now she preaching? What's
right.
going on?
Is she a poet? Does she preach? Does she talk? Does she teach? I don't know this woman, right? Is she straight? Is she gay? Who is she? What is she? What does she do? We don't know.
She sell dope, do hair, and all that.
We don't know. And I'm like, everything, everything. No, but in all honesty, I am a lot, and I do have a lot. Probably enough for 4 or 5 lifetimes. But here's the gag. It took me so long to be okay with all that and to learn how to navigate all that. I'm not willing to compromise. Right. Yes. So, that's why I think this was such a good idea and such a good conversation. And that's why I wanted to say what I needed to say to you is because I'm in that same boat. Right. But I don't give myself a pass to say it's convenient to be a poet. To just get a check because they'll make you they'll help you benefit by letting you just only rhyme. No, but there's a message that I've been assigned. There's a word that I've gotten that I've been told somebody in the room that I'm going into has to receive. Right. So now do I just do what's convenient or do I do what's true, right? Yeah. There's times when I've been invited to speak or to teach or to do one or the other, and I bring in the accumulation of who I am. And it's really just a matter of me not being willing to put any part of me away. Like I don't try to make it confusing. Yeah. And I don't try to force people to ask the question. Right. I just bring all of me.
And then take that extra step to make sure that I don't stop here. Yeah.
No matter what. The world may not understand that, but it's not my job to make sure that people understand all of the parts of me. It's my job to take care of those pieces. Definitely. And to give each part a light. And so I think when we're having this conversation about people not being able to freely explore who they are and then expose that or share that with the world. Yeah, a lot of that is fear of rejection and being neglected and not being treated right by the world. But most of that got to do with us. Yeah. How we feel about us, what we know about us, how we treat us. The more you treat you different, the less it's gonna matter. You know what I mean? Like y'all rock with me or not, I'm Treese.
Right. I don't care how you perceive me because I know who I am.
And even me, I care to an extent. I will say that. Okay. I'll be honest and say to an extent, I do care how the world perceives me. I don't care as much as how I feel about me. Right? So I never, for example, want little kids to feel like I'm the type of woman who sleeps around, is promiscuous, doesn't necessarily value my worth, or would give away my body for money. I would never want a kid, an adult, or anybody to feel like that. However, I also am not walking around trying to make sure that I do things to guarantee that people don't feel that way. Right. Do I want you to feel that way? No.
Because you're not doing it.
Am I living my life based on trying to prove it to you? Yeah. No, because I'm living my life being who I am. Yeah, exactly. And that's my gag. It's like, okay, be who you supposed to be then. Definitely. If you worry, like for real, like if you care about how the world perceives you, or if you struggle with trying to hide certain things because you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to be mistreated, you don't want to be misled or taken advantage of, then get something right with you. Right. Who are you being around that will hurt you?
Right.
Because I guarantee you, it's not one-sided. It's not just that I'm me and then the world hurts me. No, I'm putting myself somewhere around people who won't be good to me.
Yeah.
I control that part.
Yeah. I'm around people that are hurting me, and I'm not leaving.
So it can't just be these people are hurting me is the problem. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to address the problem of going around people who would hurt me.
Yeah.
So, fill in the gaps. That's why I just be like, let's square by square. Let's get it done.
Square by square.
Like, women have such a problem accepting the very thing that they're literally begging for.
Kindness?
No, compliments.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted freaking attention.
Yeah.
And then a guy gives you a respectful type of attention that you actually like. And then you get mad. And I'm just trying to figure out how come Lil Demo, who got 5 felonies and 4 baby daddies, tells you, hey, B, hurry up, get over here. Run a nigga there. And you're like, okay, daddy.
Right.
A guy says,
you want to be mistreated.
I like your outfit, and you're like, oh, I got a man. I'm not trying to talk to him. He wasn't even trying to talk to you.
All I said was hello.
And literally all that,
good morning.
That little thing, he doesn't want to talk to you now.
Right.
Like, go somewhere. Little angry little,
Yeah, we don't want to deal with that.
Little ghetto geisha. Like, go somewhere.
We've had that conversation so often to where, like, we both. Because
like, y'all just be being nice.
That's it.
And women take it so... And I'm like, dude, you're not even all that. Like, there's 1 trillion of us.
Come on now.
You look like 15 women that he just saw.
Come on.
Because I saw 3 women who look like me. So I know you don't only look like you. Take your compliment and move on.
Come on, bro. You don't
just
gotta
chill.
Be like that.
Just chill. I'm going to find you a doobie. Have a Kit Kat. I snap into a Slim Jim. I'm just saying, lose the tube, Lil Jude, okay?
Why do you think that is, though? Because I've noticed and I've seen that, one, the compliments don't really work when you're being genuine. And then 2, I've met a lot of, especially black women, who are not vulnerable at all. I want to know, as a black woman, where do you think that lack of vulnerability comes from?
I don't think there's a lack of vulnerability. I think there's an engrossed amount of masculinity. I think that we have become perversely masculine, and it just overshadows the beauty of everything else that we have going on.
Okay.
Plus, I also feel that us being like the most unprotected and unloved thing on the planet makes it kind of hard to be vulnerable. Okay. We don't have room to be vulnerable. We're too busy being strong enough to allow you a space to be weak in a world that tears you down. So you're already unloved. But black men are not unprotected. Right. Because every time that you've come home, whips and chains all on your back, being beat up, being laughed at, being broken down, whether it's the woman who you thought you would build with or a different one of us shows up to pick up the pieces. Right. One of us is right there to love you where you at. One of us is right there to remind you that the world is lying to you. One of us is right there to say, even though you do me wrong and I can't have all of you because for whatever reason you have to love her, and her, and I don't even have enough of me, but I'm going to give you the little bit that I have. There's no way y'all could even understand what it's like to be unprotected. Right. We literally cover you.
I agree.
So it's not that we aren't vulnerable. When do we have time? We have to fight, and literally the one time when we should be able to be vulnerable, we're too busy, again, telling ourselves that we need to be strong in order to pick up the pieces, because after all of that, crumbling ourselves and allowing us to sacrifice for everyone else, at some point, there's just us. Right. But in that moment, now I realize the mess that's been made and the travesty that I've created by self-neglect and toxicity and bitterness and anger and being the type of woman who's okay with carrying around garbage, that I don't like me. Yeah. I don't have time to be vulnerable because now I gotta clean. Yeah. I gotta fix. Yeah. And I gotta freaking build where it should have already had been a house. Right. So it's not that I don't want to be vulnerable. I just don't have space.
Do you think They know how?
No.
Okay.
I honestly...
Because they don't have space.
No. Not because we don't have
Okay.
space.
Right.
Because we don't have unity.
Okay.
Because once we get it together and we create the space, there's this improper narrative that's been created that black women don't support each other and we can't get along.
Right.
So like once I create that space for myself and I figure out all this stuff that I've very neatly summed up for you in a much shorter time than the way we live it.
Definitely.
Once I go through all that life and death, and then I'm what we say is reborn, I'm put together, and I kind of got me. Now it's hard to trust some women who may not be there for fear that they may try to tear down the house that hope has built, or there's this covenant that I've made with myself to never allow me to be broken down, and so then I become the one who puts the barrier between me and all the women who I could befriend or help. Right. And it's really just about narrative, just passing down old tales like black women don't get along, we don't support each other, and so I think that doesn't get taught. Right? Because, of course, misery loves company. We're talking when it's dysfunctional. We're talking when the nigga hurt us. We're talking when we don't like ourselves. We're talking when we're fat and obese and we going out to overeat together. We talking when we being hoes and hoeing up and getting down together. We're talking when we're being overly ghetto. Yeah. We're talking when we're both pulling internet scams. We're talking when we're both pulling welfare schemes. We're talking when we're both beating and mistreating and talking down to our children. We're talking when we're both listening to the same twerk, turn up music. Right. Once we start to elevate ourselves, that separation happens. And because the separation in our culture is already so deep, we just don't unify on the other side. Right. Just like with everything else. Okay. You know, black people who get money don't really talk to broke black folk.
Not at all. I don't blame them.
So we don't know because we ain't being told.
Don't talk to me.
But I'm here to change all that. Because I'm about getting money. Yeah. I'm about being a strong sister. I'm about being a vulnerable feminine woman who embraces like the beauty of being gentle and fragile. I'm about community.
And will still hem you up.
I don't hem any... Whatever.
She hemmed me up, but was speaking so ever so sweetly. She was like, listen, little motherfucker. I love you. And I see the best in you. I'm still like, oh my God.
Fighting to breathe.
Like, what the
rose that grew from
I
the
love
concrete.
You too.
I can't breathe.
Love from a black woman.
Love ain't enough. And that's why I do more than just a book dropping soon, by the way. Shameless plug. But love ain't enough.
That's the title of your book?
That is the title of the book.
Love ain't enough.
Love ain't enough. And once we realize that in all facets of our lives, we'll become so much better. Right. But yeah, it starts with self. And so I think that as black women are able to like better love ourselves and change that narrative, then we'll be able to teach each other tools to be able to be vulnerable. Right. Because you guys like it. Yeah. You guys like it when we can show that side of ourselves. And in fact, it's one of the things that I've heard men tell me they like about women who are not minorities or other minority women who ain't black. Right. Because we have that problem more than any other minority. Right.
That they are more vulnerable, and so like it's you don't have to.
They just don't have to control everything all the time. Like we tend to be the women who tend to be more loud, more controlling, more demanding, more closed off, more vindictive, more rough. Right. And it's not that those things don't have good qualities, but when it's to that extreme, it's hard to feel good about it, right? If you always roughing me up, I can't feel good about that. Like sometimes I want you to just love me. So.
But when I give you that love and you can't receive it because you're not being vulnerable to it, then what should I do?
You asking like when a man tries to do that for a woman and
Correct.
she can't receive it?
Correct.
Talk to her.
Okay.
You're a man for a reason, so automatically you should be the lead of a situation. If you're in a situation where you are the man and you feel like you are not the lead, then you need to take the lead by knowing that you're the one who's emotionally mature, right? Which still gives you the lead. Never think that because you're not calling the shots, you don't own control of the game. That's the worst thing that you could ever think. Look at any sports player. Coach is telling them what to do. Right. Who runs the game? The quarterback in football, right? Because that's the person who's telling, who dictates what the other team members going to do. They ain't watching to see what coach is going to do. Once they get the instruction from coach, they like, but now what are you going to do, right? So it's that whole dynamic. Like I would say be vocal. Okay. A lot of it, especially for black men, is like being able to be secure enough with yourself to learn how to talk to women and then talking.
Okay. We started off before we started. We were talking about we were talking about Acrimony, the movie Acrimony, and the fact that I went to a Sunday Jack London premiere of it the weekend it came out with thousands of black women in there.
Brave,
and I told you that's been my life because, like I told you, when my mother passed, I went to a Catholic school. I actually went to the same school, Catholic school that Mr. Fab went to, but we're completely two different generations.
Okay, right.
But you know,
I forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two different, but we went to the same.
So 10 years ago, when he had went there.
Yeah. You hear me? You hear me?
Shout out to my mentor, though. I love it. People try to hate on him for his duality. We'll get into that.
No, I love
that's why I actually love him, though, because he's honest. It's exactly along the lines of what we're talking about right now. Yeah. That lack of fear of presenting parts of, because we never give all of ourselves.
Yes.
But he doesn't have that fear of presenting various sides of himself based on how the world is going to receive or judge him.
Right.
And like, black women, we want to be able to do that with y'all.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think definitely being vocal helps.
Okay.
Like, and I know you can do it, so I challenge you. I challenge you to start.
I do it all the time.
To start.
I'm very good at communication.
You sure?
I'm 1,000%. 1,000%. I am great at communication.
Y'all see we live, right? Y'all see
I am great. Any woman that you ever seen me with,
y'all
or
hop in my
anybody,
DMs, ladies.
Yo, if
Tell
I'm
me how
lying,
good he is with communication, because now I want to know.
I over-communicate.
Like he's the master.
Bruh, I love. You know what my shit is?
You know, Lyric is my little play daughter.
You know what my shit is? You hurt my feelings. I love telling women they hurt my feelings.
Are you serious?
I love telling women they hurt my feelings.
But see,
love telling her you were not kind.
You're using this. See, no, ladies.
You were not kind.
All y'all, stop falling for this.
You were not kind.
Stop falling for this.
Fall for what? It's the truth. They hurt my feelings. I don't be doing nothing.
I'm not doing this with you.
My point was.
I see where you're going with this already.
My point was when my mother passed. Okay, that's what we're talking about. When my mother passed.
That was guy code, y'all. Ladies, pick that up. That was Price's game.
And when I went to a Catholic school, my grandmother, the mothers in the school surrounded around my grandmother. It's like, we'll be there because it was a black school. So it was like, we'll be there for you. We'll be there for you. He can come to whatever. We can come over or whatever you need a break, all that. So I was the only boy going to the little girl birthday parties, going to the princess birthday parties, things like that, playing with all the little stuff,
Right.
I always, my cousins, they're all girls, so I would be with them. So
you're a pro at this.
Yeah, like I know y'all. Like y'all can't pull the wool over on me.
Okay, so see this.
I'm seasoned.
This is where it goes wrong.
I'm Salt Bay when it comes to this.
Okay, I tried. I was gonna give you a pass.
All right, go ahead. Don't give me my pass. I don't want it. I don't want your pass.
He think he's super seasoned, then he try to hit it with the ultra defensive. Go ahead. I can take it. I don't want your pass. Give me the raw uncut. Like, okay, all right. So you seasoned?
I am. I'm Salt Bay.
I'm not doing this with you. He's so confident too.
I am. Confident. You're like, there's only certain things that I know for a fact. Like, I don't know a lot of facts, but
the ones you know.
Come on.
You know what? In all honesty, though, like, we do need brothers who feel like that. We do need brothers who feel like, I know y'all. I understand y'all. Here's the thing that I challenge you to do.
Okay.
To ask yourself, the next time you're talking to a woman.
She's hemming me up.
I've not even touched him, y'all. Y'all see this right now? You see this?
This is the audio podcast.
This is. Do you hear this? See this? Hear this? See, I'm the one nervous. I don't know if I'm seeing or hearing. And he talking about I'm hemming him up. I digress.
Challenge me.
So I challenge you. The next time that you're, talking to a woman, and you feel like I have something to lend because I understand women and I know her. Before you lend whatever you want to lend her or impart upon her, ask yourself, how well does she know herself?
Yeah.
And can I not relate to her at the level of understanding that I think she has based on how well she knows herself, but can I relate to who she knows that she is, not who I know she is.
Got it. And that's my problem.
I know that's your problem.
Because I see her through my eyes.
Exactly.
It's like, you're not there yet, but you should be, so listen to me because I'm a man.
Which is where you can improve your communication because she's not hearing you.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're talking to somebody who's not present.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In that moment, who you're talking to isn't the person who's in front of you.
Yes.
Yes, that's who you should be able to talk to.
I'm talking to her potential.
Right, and that's not who's present.
Right.
Who's present is the person who doesn't believe in her potential. Not even her is who's present, right? It's her inner enemy is who's present in that moment. Okay. Learning how to see that person and to relate to that person will let you know whether you need more opportunities to speak differently or to listen differently.
Got it.
And I think you can do it.
I know I can do it.
Oh, okay.
I have to do it.
There you go. Because you're surrounded by us, and we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't have. He's like my only male friend. I have like maybe 5 male friends.
Yeah, you are kind of stuck. I do see you always have a lot of.
I'm around women 24/7. Like these are women who I love. These are my friends. Like I crave that because I don't want to be responsible for you romantically, but I do want you around me. Like I love being around you guys. I love hearing y'all bullshit that y'all say to each other. I love it. I love the camaraderie. I love bringing women together. I always say that I'm William from Girlfriends. I am, because
it makes sense though. It makes sense.
I have literally spent. Shout out to Leash. I was at Leash. I was with one friend. I called up another friend. I called up 2 other friends, and they came to meet us. None of the women knew each other, and we had a great night.
But everybody hanging out, having fun.
Had a great night.
And I think there's a lot of guys who might be like that. I think actually there's a misconception about black men that they only sleep around with women and don't have friendships, or that they're not good confidants.
Right.
Good confidants if they are heterosexual, or that they are just like total liars, cheaters, and shady. Right. And I think that that's a big misconception that a lot of bitter black women have passed on because they don't accept responsibility for their part in the situation. But I also think that there's just a bigger batch of good guys than what gets credit for. Me. So, okay, well, shout out
to me. Shout out to me.
Okay, shout out to Simba.
Thank you.
Because
that's all I want.
He's the only black guy who's listening to black women and bringing us together for sisterhood.
You goddamn right.
So here's what happens, how fake news gets formed, because they edit out everything you said before and after. So all
we heard was shout out to Simba,
right?
Because he's the only
right. So if you guys hear this narrative being circulated,
I'm only going to use this clip. Right? The only clip I use.
Just get my 15%. You already know me. I'm trying to buy my mama a house. Hello. At the end of the day, hello. But no, but for real, like that's super dope that you could be like that. I just think that love really ain't enough. Yeah. So we got to have better communication skills and more opportunities for conversations like this. Yeah. Definitely. Like for black men and women to talk. Yeah. Like definitely. It's all good. It's all good. Definitely. And we don't gotta agree.
Right. And I think for me specifically, it gets difficult when those friends that I'm talking about get into relationships because they then become girlfriends.
Yeah.
With a whole boyfriend who cares about who
they talk to, what they do,
stuff like that. Like it's so many of my friends who just left me up and like just I haven't heard from you from like months.
I mean, yeah, that it is hard. But you got like I have a male best friend.
How do you treat him?
I mean, I treat him like my best friend. Shout him out. Shout out Nick Beam. What's up to the best friend? That's that's my forever best friend. Like there's no time when he won't be a part of my life. There's no time when I won't be a part of his life. We were just talking today about some stuff going on with him, and he's like, man, I got to fill you in and bring it, without like telling too much. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, you got to. And like, I have some things I got to fill him up on. Right. And whether we're single or not, dating people or not, we are always going to be friends. And so I think that it's just a matter of where you are and again, it all goes back to mind state and self. When you know yourself, you know what kind of people you want to pick. 5 years ago, I picked different people because I was admitting different things about myself than some things that I admit now. There were certain things that I didn't admit, and so it was keeping me in spaces and keeping me accountable to characteristics of myself that I actually wanted to let go of.
Right.
And so once I started to be more genuine with myself and where I was at, how I felt about who I was, the type of woman that I wanted to be, and really being intentional about the stuff I talked about, not just saying like, I want to level up, I want to be better at my career, I want to improve my bank account, get my credit right, have edges, watch my way, eat good, have good friends, go shop, do all this. I love it. You know why? No, because anytime you see a woman, like literally, anytime you see a woman go from no edges to edges, she done left a nigga and leveled up. I'm telling you, she got her life and her mind right.
So you telling me a woman can't have edges unless she leaves her man?
No, she totally can.
Okay.
But when she starts with none, and then she gets some.
But the women that I've
changed
dated
herself.
have started with no edges and then flourished.
They changed something about themselves.
Yeah.
No. We are not gonna make this all about Simba.
Hey y'all,
we
can y'all hear me beating on my chest?
We not about to make this all about Simba.
She got edges because of me. Alright, Trace. Alright.
I'm finna go look at lyric edges right when we get done. Because I guarantee you are not innocent. She probably got some baby hairs right now that's like, I could grow up.
Nothing to do with her edges.
I could grow up if Simba didn't get on our nerves. He just be holding us back. Girl, bye. Girl, be telling her, save him for later on Mondays. We need to write poems.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
No, for real. For real.
Okay.
Edges is just an easy, relatable thing.
She is
but
silly.
What I really am getting at is just like anytime you see a man or a woman who's made changes in their lives, we often can guess that there's been a major relationship change. Yeah. And most of the time we stop there. But that's not why they got different. It's because they changed them. Because when they don't, they change back, they revert. They revert. And then you be like, wait, now you with new dude and you still doing the same old stuff. Now you with a new girl and you still the same trifling dude. I've seen both of these people get with different people and still be broke.
Yeah, real.
You know, you looked almost hurt before. Now you're just downright hideous. Yeah. Well, what the hell happened? Because your ex was your last ex's ex. So 7 exes ago, and you still look the same. It can't be them. It must be you. But when you see people make permanent changes, like people who see me now and literally don't know that they're looking at me, and I have to be like, hi. Right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because the person who left that last relationship is not the same woman. So now I know to be with a man who trusts himself enough to trust me around men. I didn't have to go through hoops, whether I'm single, dating, married, got kids, and it's not y'all's business, so you don't need to know. Right. But whatever I'm in or not in, I didn't have to explain nothing to nobody today. Right. I have this to do. This is where I'm going. And whatever happened, whatever is whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's just how I live my life now, because I don't engage in those kinds of guys no more. Like, I don't need Lil Day Day. Yeah. In fact,
shout out to Lil Day Day.
No, we won't shout out Lil Day Day. You know why? No, because Lil Day Day got Lil John John, and Lil John John is his little cousin, and he breaking in cars because he want to be like Lil Day Day who sell dope and have more money. And I'm gonna need both of them to just get it together. Okay, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want your number. I don't want you hanging out by my car. I don't need anything when I come out of the store. What I would like for you to do is to get a job. Get a job, raise your kids, tell your baby mama fix her edges.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Yo, I can defend all of it, but I won't.
You can't.
I do have a question for you. That's funny.
Shout out to Day Day though. I love my Day Days. I love y'all. I'm from the Jets, but I can talk about it, so we gotta love them up. Do better.
That's funny. That is so
You don't
funny.
like it, fix your hair. I don't care.
So funny. Why do black women say that there's not enough good black men?
Because they haven't been able to recognize that they need to put themselves in positions to meet better black men. It's good and bad of everything in this world.
Right.
I don't say that. I don't that's not true to me.
Okay. Yeah, because you talk about and you uplift us so much, and it's beautiful. When you did a cappella, I didn't know you was performing. I thought you was just talking to us until you got like 12 bars in, and you was like used the word like auspicious, and I was like, oh wait, that's
hold up.
Yeah. Oh, this is a rhyme. Like because she flows so naturally, and she was rhyming without me knowing that she had even started her piece.
That's good.
You were like, hey, how's everybody doing? You know about love. You know what love is, right? He was like, yeah, I do know what love is. And then she was telling me what love is. And then she said, love is auspicious. And I was like, oh, this is a rhyme. I'm late. Wait, go back. Can
you start over?
Yeah, start over. I didn't process it yet.
I thought we were talking.
Yeah.
No, I do. I love y'all. And yes, I try to make my shows very different from my open mic. So because I'm always in the, I hate to say limelight or all these little terms, like whatever, all that stuff. I'm in people's face.
On stage.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't even like saying stage. I'm really weird about all that kind of stuff. But because I'm always doing my due, I like to be different. Mm-hmm. Like I like to give something different. I feel like if there's so much inside, it's a depravity to not give that and to not let some of that out. So like when I perform, it's very much like you said, like a show. Yeah. But I'm working on this thing where like, and of course I'm gonna start seeing people do it, so I'm gonna work on doing something different that ain't nobody else doing. Right. But I like to do this thing where like I'm talking and then I kind of go into the pieces and it's very fluid. Yes. Like I like it to be one full interaction, one full conversation, not like here's a piece. Right. Here's a piece. Right. Here's a piece. No, it's just me and then this part is gonna rhyme.
Yes, because your pieces, you're a conversationalist. And I identify with that because I'm the same way. And when I write, it's usually to someone or about someone, and I'm telling a story. So it's those three things, and it's like you being such a conversationalist when it comes to that rhyme. I love it because like, so other people do this. It's not just I walk through clouds, the sounds of the rain. Yeah. Like shout out to Ghost, like that. It's not that. It's you might be whispering almost, and then start yelling at us.
Yeah. Keep you awake. Make sure you're paying attention.
I was watching the footage from the Soul Glow.
Nice. I still need to see that footage. Like that was probably one of my best performances either.
I have it all.
But there's something about wanting to come through for your friends. Yeah. And being inspired. And I can honestly say I think that's what brought something different out of me is that it was a different kind of show. Definitely. And I wanted to give a different part of me. Mm-hmm. And I just felt so comfortable in the space and so respectful of Afro entertainment and so proud of their accomplishment. And it just pulled something different out of me. And plus the desire, right? Of course, I'm very intentional. And I make no secret about this. Like, I'm here to win. I want to be the best of the best. I want to be able to stand with the big boys and to be able to be the one woman who could sit with any of them and hold her own. Yeah. And I don't have any qualms about saying that because I think that it's real important that we get past and I'm going to just call it out, the Nicki hater syndrome. Like, we don't like Nicki Minaj because she always has to be the top and she always wants to be the woman who's better than every other woman and to be able to compete with what the guys do. Well, damn it, am I here to win or am I not? Right. Like, I want to be able to sit with Prentice Powell and Sean and it's like me and them two and I'm the one woman on the ticket and we all getting the same check. Yeah. Like, I didn't come here to play. Yeah. So, and you can, and you probably have already. So like, y'all I'm just not going to back down. And I got a lot of women who I have a lot of love for in the game, but I'm not going to play second fiddle or half fiddle or point guard I'm him, Slim. Yeah. I'm him, Slim, and ain't nobody finna take me off my block. Yeah. And something about Afro entertainment just clicked that night. Yeah. And when I felt it click inside of me, I was like, oh, we giving birth to. I felt it, so I can't wait to see that footage because it was different. Like, I still look back on that night and I was like, Tree, something like you birthed something for yourself. Right. Like, I've looked at the pieces that I've written and I'm like, oh, what's about to? I done looked at some speeches I did and been like, this is crazy. Right. It was one of the first times I met you. You were on your way to Arizona, and you had just written. I write poems for little black girls. Yep. And that was the first piece that you did at Soul Glow. Yep. And like you said, like it was something in the water that night that you murdered them. And you know what's even more crazy? Guess how far back I had written that piece.
Tell me.
That piece was written when Nia Wilson got murdered.
Okay.
So it's not a new piece.
Okay.
I wrote it and I put it away.
Uh-huh.
Literally, this has been the cycle of my career, which is how I know that what I'm doing to pull greatness out of y'all is exactly what needs to happen.
Right.
Because we're always greater and far more than what we see. The stuff that I've been performing and the things that look like performance pieces that I'm mastering as I go, they're pieces that I just was not the woman to perform them for when I wrote them.
Yeah.
Now, none of it is super old,
Right.
but like literally all my stuff last year, y'all haven't heard.
Right.
Like, so,
Right.
you know what I mean? And so it's just that dynamic of catching up to your own self, which is why I keep going back to that, like, mind state and working on who you are, filling in the square, making sure to add value, because this stuff is real.
Yeah.
Like, we make it so quick to be like, I know who I am, I got my life together, but you don't.
Right.
Because you know how I know you don't? Because you ain't lived it all, and it's never going to make sense until you staring in the rear view looking back.
That's real.
It only makes sense once you get to the end and you can look back at that thing and be like, damn, this is how all the performances stacked up. Yeah. This is how the pieces added. This is why each podcast episode needed to be the way it needed to be with who needed to be there featuring.
Definitely.
There's a reason and a recipe. But like, none of it is going to seem opposite of insanity until you do it.
Definitely.
So I be about the doing. And damn it, ain't nobody finna outdo Treese.
Yeah, real tough.
Like,
real tough. Yeah.
I got love for everybody.
Real tough.
But I ain't come to lose.
Yeah.
Like, my mama is not finna die the way she lived. Like, and I always keep it in my head every day. I'm like, my daddy life wasn't in vain, and my mama's life is not gonna be the same.
Right.
Like, my dad didn't die a dope fiend for nothing, and my mama ain't gonna go take her last breath and be poor.
Right.
So somewhere in the middle is me.
Definitely.
And come hell or high water, nigga, the devil even know.
Yeah.
You not about to stop me.
Yeah. you so dope, because then you'll turn around and do a piece and then turn around and freestyle a piece. Like, you did you, I'm getting juicy. Did you or did you not write the piece that you did for Jeremy's birthday? Shout out to Jeremy.
Oh, he getting juicy now. No.
Yeah, that was wild.
I didn't.
She said, I want to be like you, Jeremy.
He paid attention to everything.
Come on. I want my hair to look like an afro like you, Jeremy.
Shout
I
out
want to be able
Jeremy.
Hey, Jay, I want to be able to wear ponchos like you, Jeremy. That's what she was saying in her
I
piece.
did. In so many words. Okay, he's like badgering my poem now. Because now, you know, when you don't think your stuff is that great until somebody mess it up, and then you be like, bruh, it was better than that. He's like killing my poem. But no, seriously, that was not written. It was thought. It was pre-thought.
Okay.
So what I did was, because I wanted to do something special, and I was like, well, what could be more special than the creation of some artistry for him? But of course, you want to be intentional. It's your friend. It's a big event. It's important for him. You can't just be saying anything and you gotta be like, I want to do this, but I also want to get the same reaction as if it was a piece that I've known for a year.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just use me, and I've ciphered before. So I'll be honest. Like I used to rap. Okay. I used to cipher. I would get in the circle.
What was your rap name?
Semiauto. It's still my rap name.
Okay.
It's still my rap name.
I'm gonna drop. If y'all read my captions, sometimes I like to drop a little bar, and then I'll be like bars, like, and then sometimes I'll hashtag like semi-auto. But I think I'm gonna let her out because I got like a little EP. Yeah, I got like a little EP.
I'm gonna let the semi-auto spray.
Yeah, I got like a little.
You are
EP.
a semi-auto.
I got like a little EP. I'm gonna spray like, you know, when you tinkle, when you pee. Let these niggas out because they gas like, ooh, Treese, and I know they want to see me. Go and get a little thick chocolate. You know she get knee deep. Get with the game. Nah, you can't see me. I'm gonna let a little something out there. I'm gonna do a little something. I didn't even know about this.
Semi-auto in the fucking building. Best Man Pod is the greatest podcast ever.
Yeah, man, come on, man. I started in the projects with this. Like, y'all gotta remember, like, I know I don't look like what I've been through, but like, really, I've come from the gutter up. And I always was a square. I never try to make it like I wasn't, like I was some hard up kid, but like, I was a square up until 18. I sold my first rock at 19. Okay. Like, I was not the young kid who was bad. I was very intelligent, very preppy, but I lived in the projects. right? So like as early as 12, I've seen people popping needles, shooting drugs, getting killed, shooting at each other, all the stuff we see. So like, of course, I know how to rap, or like I've been exposed to rap culture. Of course, I've been exposed to some of these other things. I just don't always walk around trying to show everything. Like even with the singing, and people are like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Well, partly I was scared, and I don't want y'all to say I suck." But also, you in this world and in this game, you gotta pick what to highlight. Like just the transition alone from like people only saying she's a poet to people being able to say she's a life coach who's also an author, poet who performs.
Talk about it.
Getting people, because you teach people how to treat you.
Definitely.
And you show them how to recognize you.
Definitely. Forcing
the world to lend itself and bend to the way that I want to identify has been hell. Because social media, right?
Yep.
And just life in general. So I don't always try to show everybody everything, because I feel like in time you're going to see it anyway.
Definitely.
In time I'll be at a place where I can do all the things that I want to do, and I'll have all the ventures and venues I want to have, and I'll be able to highlight those things. In time I'll be able to reach a space where I can spearhead a lot of the different things that I want to put in motion for community and for other upcoming people in creative spaces. And so you'll get to see how I dibble and dabble in those things. Yes. But first we got to get the bread and butter. First we got to get the money.
We got to get the budget to do whatever we need to do.
And so I'm just running this lane that I'm in.
You are a polymath. You can do a little bit of everything, and you're great at all of it.
Yeah, I'm Duchess of my deeds.
Oh.
Duchess of my deeds.
Semiotto!
He is on that semi-auto.
Hey, I love it. I love it. What? Yeah. I'm semi-auto. What?
I've been on a few rap tracks and stuff. I've been on some stuff. I featured on some stuff before. Shout out to the hood, man. The hood keep a sister paid. Y'all groom me well. But I just think that it's important to like use what you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I spent so much time dumbing down who I was and hiding who I was because I felt intimidated about life, because I didn't fully love me. I didn't fully understand the magnitude of my gifts.
Right.
And just growing up, right? Just growing into myself. And so now where I'm at is such a beautiful place to be.
Definitely.
Not because everything is perfect, but just because I'm good. Like even on my worst days, I'm good with all of me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm okay with wanting to improve me, no matter who feels that is audacious, arrogant, impending on their ability to shine. I'm also okay with being flawed, no matter who feels that may be ghetto, inappropriate, lackluster, embarrassing, whatever. I'm okay with me wherever I'm at.
Can I add to that? So, I say a lot. I'm okay with being wrong.
Oh, often. I'm
very okay with being wrong. I like I said, I know what I know, and if you could teach me something, please teach me, because I don't want to act like I know something that I don't.
Yep.
If you have more information to give me, don't make me be stupid. It's always the people who, like, they be like, "Why you got to correct me?" Because you're misinformed. It's not to belittle you. It's not to make it seem like I know more than you. It's literally to make you better. Here's the real information.
That's so hard. That's so hard for us to digest, and that's cool too. I get people all the time who don't want to do that. And this line of work that I do is real hard to always be trying to show people that there's a better tool they could use, or there's a way that they can enhance themselves. And to constantly get the pushback of like, okay, that's cool. But then you see people gravitate towards something that doesn't matter or that's not going to help them. Like I just gave you a gem that could change your life. And you literally were like, oh yes, I totally need to get out of my comfort zone, because man, I see how this is holding me back and making me a slacker. And then somebody over here is like, hey, come watch this video. You'll be a master twerker. And you literally go and you arch your back and work on your twerk, but never on yourself. Even though you just admitted that this is the thing that could change everything.
Keep that same energy.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm going to do what I got to do.
Right.
I'm going to be who I am. I know I'm on a mission. I know what I'm doing is important.
Right.
And it's righteous. And it's worth it. And it works. And I'm willing to risk it all, because I don't have another way.
Right.
Like, literally, even when people say, like, you can go and do this and you can blow up and do this if you do poetry. And I'm like, y'all, you must don't get it yet. It's not like I'm not going to only coach and not do poetry. I'm not going to only do poetry and not run my wellness company.
Right.
I'm going to be all of me.
I have to do it.
And if we got to die, be broke.
Yeah. I say
But
this,
she ain't gonna be broke, y'all.
she not. She making a point.
Mama,
don't you be?
Mama need housing.
Yeah, real.
It's not even trying to see, and that's the thing. Don't say that. You
Tree.
You
Hey, I'm here. You said in the beginning, if you don't got friends, balling on you be. So look.
See, you gonna bring some little Kim from somewhere talking about she thinks she. I'm just saying. You remember what happened when they tried it with Nikki, right?
She don't have to think because she already here. Come on. I outsold Aretha.
But what I don't like though is the cattiness.
Yeah, that's correct.
So like I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
So just for anybody who may be confused or if you on the fence now, whether you still like me, and I make it real easy. I want you to join me.
Yeah. You could be here too.
And I want you to win.
Yes.
I'm not trying to get you to go against me.
Right.
I'm just letting you know you ain't gonna beat me. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Just be a happy second.
No.
Let me talk your shit.
No, because you're gonna make it beefy. I'm not trying to make it beefy. I'm saying you could be a happy number one when you get there.
Just if I don't compete.
When I'm done. No, I'm gonna compete. No. You could be number one and you can enjoy your spot. I'm just saying I'm going to get my spot and I'm going to keep it for as long as I can. And I'm not going to stop until I get said spot.
That's real. That's real.
He making it beefy, y'all. Come on, sis. I ain't trying. Man, it's him. Brothers always turn us against each other. It's him. I just had a woman feature on Wednesday.
Oh
y'all don't make it seem like
we support black women.
We do support black women, so that's why you should head over to the website, www.til4ever.org, and buy something. Support a young sister coming up running the wellness company where they say she can't do it.
That's facts. Because you did a
they say black people don't care about
woman. Talk about your conference.
Oh, I said they say black people don't care about being well. I've had several black people even tell me that. Like, you know, if you position your company to cater more to like yoga moms and other moms of affluent cultures and things like that, it'll probably work better because it's really hard for our demographic. That's just a nice way to say black people don't do the stuff that you're doing because it's all good stuff that people need to live a great life.
And black people don't do
and black people don't care about themselves. So what you should do is sell that to white women and white men because they'll listen.
No, thank you.
And so what I said is, no, make sure people know my hair nappy and I'm still slightly ghetto.
Come on now.
Niggas gonna do this.
Come on now.
If you ain't do nothing else, you're gonna do this. You know why? Because I wear gold teeth and I got good credit. Don't play with me. You can participate in this game. You don't have to be somebody else in order to have the best for yourself. And that's all I want for us. You know what? Everybody gotta die.
Yeah.
So how you don't need life insurance is beyond me. Everybody gotta pay rent. So how you don't need money is confusing.
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to read. So why you don't want to be educated, this is beyond me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna play.
Talk about your women's group, your women's conference.
That even got me fired up.
Turn up.
So I recently held a women's conference. I'll be running them back regularly. So my goal is to do more workshops this year. I'm actually getting ready to roll out another one, which is all going to be about content creation. Okay. So I do like a plethora of types of workshops, and it can range in anything from personal development to business, startup, or support. So basically your full spectrum consulting and life coaching. Okay. I like to call it total wellness because it covers like mind, body, spirit, soul, and finance. So the first one was about small business development. The next one will be along the same lines. But I got some good stuff I'm rolling out. I'm working on some curriculum that deals with just internal development, assessing ourselves. I have a journal that's going to be dropping because women were asking for it. And men is always like, you need to give sis a way to write her problems out. I get a lot of y'all talking to me.
Because she keep telling me about it, and I don't want to hear that
Can you
shit.
talk to my girlfriend? Or I'm going to have my girlfriend follow you like you wouldn't believe it. Y'all are sweet.
We're not sweet. We just don't want a headache.
Okay, either way. Send them to me. Either way, I think it's sweet.
Talk to this woman because she's wild. Yeah, here. This is her. Hello.
So, like, probably...
I'm going to back up.
For March. I'm going to get it done for March. I'm so meticulous, but I'm going to get it done for March. It's I Am Enough is the tentative title, and it's an affirmations journal that women can utilize to hone in on the power of reassessing yourself, making time to redesign your life, and really being intentional about claiming the things that you want for you and then doing the work in a way that gets you those results.
Definitely.
And so, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I do. But I just like to help people, man.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying?
You
But
help a
like,
lot.
I really just, and that's all I got. Like, people, like, this is like breathing.
Yeah.
If I can't do this, then there's no point for me to be alive.
Right.
Like, this is my thing.
I had a 12th grade history teacher, and he was a great man. He's passed now, but I had my 12th grade final. The day before it, my grandmother and I got into a tiff, and she sent me to a detention center in Livermore, and like it was me just crying out. I was just like, let's have a conversation. And she was like, no, leave me alone, get out, leave me alone. I'm like, no, let's have a conversation, to where she called the law enforcement on me. And she was like, oh, I can't control him. He needs to leave, X, Y, Z. So that Monday and Tuesday, I was at a detention center. And then I was at the Infirmary Park doing counseling with my grandmother and my uncle, and so I missed my first 4 finals. I then went to my teachers and like, can I make it up? You know, I'm trying to graduate. I'm on a roll to graduate. Things like that. Mr. Brooks, shout out to Mr. Brooks. He was a great man. He said, don't worry about it. He's like, you've done everything you need to do in the class. You've never given me any problems. I'll pass you. I'll give you an A. Wow. And he's done this before. He's done this before for numerous
Shout out to
kids.
the teachers that care,
That
man.
care. It's like, you're not intentionally. I work at a middle school right now, and there's a teacher that is intentionally failing children.
Yeah,
because they don't
real
understand
difficult.
it.
But they don't have
They don't
SEL
understand,
training. Like, they just coming from,
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know.
And she's fine.
Right,
But
right.
Shout out to Mr. Brooks, because he gave me an opportunity to just pass. And his only thing that he wanted from me is to do for other people.
Yep.
Do something good for somebody else.
Because it's never for you.
And that's all I've been doing since I've been 17 years old.
It's never for you. It's always for somebody else.
Even this show isn't about me. Mm-hmm. I don't do episodes by myself, really. Mm-hmm. It's for you. It's for the person that's on the show.
Yep.
Everything I do, I take pictures of you. Like, I take pictures of people. I'm never in pictures. I don't do too much for me. I go to work every day. I work at a middle school.
Working for kids.
With kids, 6:30 to 8:30, or 8:30 to 6:30 every single day.
My idea of a perfect day right now, trying to get out of corporate.
Yeah,
but
and then I come out, and then I hang out with you guys, like to film you guys. Like,
but it's still work though.
It is, and it's
work.
It's never for me. It's to show you at your greatest light.
I challenge you. I challenge you to.
I'm gonna get named up again.
I mean, you wanted to get in this ring.
Hey,
I was minding my business.
I don't have a problem with getting hemmed up by you. Okay, let me tell you.
Well, good. At least I'm not catching no charges.
Said grab my shirt again.
Right? But I challenge you.
Right at the neck.
To rethink that.
Yeah. I hear you.
I challenge you to rethink that.
Okay.
Because it seems nice and humble to be always giving and doing for everybody else. Mm-hmm. But how much are you really helping me?
Right.
If you're not investing in you.
100%.
And where does that leave you?
Yeah, angry. It leaves me angry because I'm like, fuck y'all. Like, yeah.
Not just
that's where
angry,
I'm at.
It leaves you at a deficit.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know, you've taken pictures of me, and now I can use pictures for free marketing. Like, let's make it real for real, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Simba loves the people.
Right.
Simba's a person.
Definitely.
Simba takes pictures of people that people use for their marketing, their advancement, their demographics, their platform that helps them build and be successful and get notoriety and money and advancement. And then Simba didn't get paid, and then Simba still has to pay rent, and then people get more money, and then they get paid, and then they get to go other places. They get to get more acknowledgement. They get to get more money. They get to own their time. They get to have more freedom. And Simba still got to go to work for somebody else, and still got to pay rent, and still got to buy equipment, and it's still a person. So how much does Simba really love people if he don't look out for the one he's stuck with the most?
Right.
Right?
I agree.
Don't do that.
I agree.
And you diluting the game. This just like on the block. When somebody come with the rock and everybody had the same amount of baking soda. Then here come T-Mac. This little nigga.
She potting.
You want to cut it down 4, 5 more times. It's stepped on 10 times. You messing up the ass Frank White. Somebody go watch American Me. Okay?
She's talking that
y'all messing up the... Because I'm going to meet you where you at.
Yeah.
I don't need to meet you in a classroom if the only place you've been is on the block. We going to go right wherever the hell you been. You been in a turban, let me wrap my damn head up. I'm going to get with you. So what I want you to know...
The crack game is very simple when you think about it.
Thank you. Yeah. And you know, anytime somebody on the block and they got some good quality and somebody come with something at a lesser price or the same price but it's been stepped on and it's a different quality, you diluting the game and we will not have that. You're going to take that where? Back on your block where you been.
We about to run you out of here.
So Simba, you take that back wherever the hell you been, because us these entrepreneurs here in the Bay, we gonna pay and we gonna do favors and we gonna get paid and I'm gonna come up and you gonna come up. Yeah. So I challenge you. Mm-hmm. Don't dilute the game. Keep it raw, uncut, and not stepped on. Especially because you're really great at what you do. Right? And so that's one of the things that, like you asked me before the interview, like, did you have anything? And that's one of my things. I need us to see that our worth has to be mutual. Right. You cannot say that your sole purpose of your worth is to invest in other people. No. I'm going to give my all to the world. I love y'all. Right. I will give my all. My podcast is for the people. There's tons of things I want to talk about. But every week, I'm on there and I'm talking about something you need to know, how you can do it, why it's important, and where you can go if you need help. Right. That's what every show is about. Get your life. Every show. Get your life. Right? Yeah. Because I want to give to people. I'll be damned if I'm out here not trying to get money because I don't want money for me. No, I'm going to give you something free, but I'm going to get me something too. Definitely. That's why you're going to see a link. So you can go buy a book. You can go buy a shirt. You can go click for something else. You can watch me feature somewhere else. You can grow my platform. You can follow. You can engage. You see how there's an exchange? Definitely. Right? Definitely. We got to be better about knowing we need and deserve the exchange. Like, we are not a people of nothingness. So I challenge you every time, 7 days, every favor that you do, find a way to use your network to get something for yourself. Gotcha. Whether it's information, it don't have to be money or something tangible, but get something back. Definitely. Start building relationships of reciprocity. Yes, and if they ain't got nothing for you, don't even let them get with you. I
am ahead of you. I had that conversation with myself weeks ago.
Good.
And so you just confirmed everything that I've been at. Like I'm like you said, I do so much. I definitely deserve more. The same. Yeah, I deserve.
Especially when you seeing everybody else coming up like, hell nah. Yeah. I don't need to be the friend you gonna buy the plate for. Yeah. Because you about to show me how to get the same budget.
Yeah. Real talk. Real talk.
For real.
Treece, I love you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I mean, we talked about a lot. Just y'all be better, do better. Love yourself and somebody else.
Do better, definitely.
I know, that was like, well, damn.
It's easy.
It's easy. Do it. It's not easy. But here's the thing. You got Defy Life. You got the Inspired Life. You got all these channels and all these memes. Delete your junk. Yeah. Delete your garbage friends. Delete your apps that play games. I'm not telling y'all don't enjoy life, but aren't you tired of being broke? Like, now is not a good time to not be tuned into, like, having money and living your best life. We're literally going to get... No, sorry. Y'all are... Because I'm very clear on this. I'm going. Yes. You're going to see me at the top in a place that cannot be accessed. Right. Now, if you want to also be in said space, you can come with me.
Yeah, real.
Right? But I ain't going to stay with y'all.
Not at all.
Niggas is getting left. Somebody ain't going to make it.
Come on.
Tell your friends to tell their friends, everybody, get your life right, okay?
Yo.
That's all I got to say.
That's real.
I love y'all, but get your life.
Come on now. So, at the end of my shows, I like to give the listener something to think about. Uh-oh. So this segment is called The Diagnosis.
Oh, this is the good one.
I love it. Yo, I love... Come on. I love when they help me. I love when they help me with my diagnosis, bro. It's the dopest shit ever. Come on, bro. I told... Shout out one more time, man. Shout out to Ghost. All we do when we text is talk mad shit.
Yeah, y'all are funny.
That's all we do. Like,
I see y'all on the
he's
ground.
my arch nemesis. Like,
yeah, no, y'all are funny. I see y'all. It's like hilarious. I love it though.
But he texted me. He was like, all I can hear now is the diagnosis. And he texted it right. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, and he he voice memoed it. I was like, oh yeah.
You will not voice memo me.
He voice memoed me, him saying the diagnosis.
The diagnosis.
So I'm gonna find it. I was like, bro, I'm using this for the show.
This is officially.
This is
officially
come on, bro.
The break for the diagnosis. Yeah. And now we're moving into my favorite part of the show. And then cut to Ghost. The diagnosis.
Ghost is a fucking fool, bro.
He is crazy. Shout out to Ghost. Featuring this Wednesday, February 19th, he will be at DopeEra Poetry, featuring at the Gallery Art Bar. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Upside Down Ghost, go crazy. It's gonna be a just game changer. I'm excited.
Definitely.
I'm so
excited. I have so my first diagnosis is fill in the square. Make sure that you have your what they say, that your ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm. Get your ducks in a row.
Get your ducks in a row.
I like to say get your house in order.
Get your house in order.
The house of you. I'm not clutching the chest.
She's grabbing me, guys.
I'm putting my hand on the chest. I didn't clutch no shirt.
She's grabbing me.
The house of you.
She's grabbing me, guys.
I swear, when police show up at my day job on Tuesday, I'm gonna just...
Oh, no, yeah, she did it. She did it.
This is sad. She did it.
She did it.
She's guilty.
She's big guilty, yeah.
I would say that wasn't me. Was that Latrice or Patrice? I'm Natriece.
Patrice.
I'm Natriece. That's when you throw that accent of Natrice.
I found it. All right, guys. This is
the diagnosis.
The
diagnosis.
What's wrong with bruh?
I'm jealous. He got a good one. This is the diagnosis. We play too much.
I don't fuck with ghosts at all, bruh. All right, number 2.
All right.
Take the extra step.
There you go.
When you think you've done enough, do more. When you think that you're secure and safe or where you are, take one more step into uncomfortability. 3, challenge yourself and change yourself.
There you go.
I appreciate you so much for challenging me. You know, since you challenged me, I've challenged mad people.
Now you passing it on.
I am a challenger out here.
I challenge y'all to become challengers. That's my street team.
She challenges.
And hit me up when y'all do it. Hit me in the DMs or drop a tag on a post or just talk back to me. I like conversation.
Yes.
So when y'all get people activated, drop me something like, "Hey, we got them activated out here. People up here leveling up, changing lives, sparking greatness, being our own version of amazing, killing comfort, y'all. Like, come on, hey, let's get it. Like,
got to. 4, be better and do better. Be better and do better. You don't got it all the way together.
Right.
So do better.
That's right.
See, I'm a poet. Hey.
I'm not going to play with you.
I'm a poet.
I'm not about to play with you.
Come on.
Bars.
Come on, thank you.
That was rap. That bars.
Yeah, I got bars. Bars. Big bars.
Big bars.
The last one. Get your life. Get your whole entire life.
Yes, the Get Your Life coach.
Come on.
Come through. Get your life.
She the Get Your Life coach.
I am.
Trees, I'm not fucking with you, bro. You gotta go. Trees gotta go, y'all.
I'm gonna head out to the top.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna head out to the top. They ain't want to give me no seat, about to buy the whole building. You know, I'll be back.
I'm not with it.
To invest.
Yeah, to invest. Buy back the block.
Hello. Nah, Get Your Life. They call me I got clients, they say, the Get Your SH Together coach. I'm like, why you gotta cuss when you say, I can't hashtag that. It's religious folks be paying me. Like, I don't want you. Shout out to the church people.
Shout out to
everybody who's trying to do better. But yeah, for real, get your life, y'all.
Yeah, definitely. Cass, you got something?
No, I love y'all.
Love you back, baby.
We love you too, guys. Lyric?
Hey, Lyric.
I'm just an innocent bystander listening to the beauty that's happening in this room. So
I agree with everything that is being said.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Just taking it in. Y'all are amazing, man. I'm so excited. This has been so dope. I'm so proud of how far you've come. And I know, like, I'm supposed to be the interviewee.
You can interview me.
But I look forward. Mm-hmm. I look forward to you continuing to unblossom. Like, keep unwrapping.
Yeah.
I don't want you trying to figure out how to put nothing together.
Okay.
Just keep unraveling. Keep taking off the layers of you. Keep taking off the layers of the podcast. Keep unraveling the way that your dynamics of gifts work, both the verbal and the cognitive skill with the technical aspect. Keep unraveling all that. Keep being creative. Keep allowing your mind to go into the weird spaces that you think general black culture and urban society doesn't understand. Right. Keep doing those things, right? So, like, that's how we get our Ryan Cooglers. That's how we get a black man who's jumping out at the start of a Star Wars movie, right? Who's not even a black American, who's actually English, and you wouldn't know that if you didn't know the actor. But, like, that's just how we get all these different dynamics.
Definitely.
And so I expect to see you somewhere.
Definitely.
That you didn't anticipate going, and that we can only see you by watching you from a worldly place. Right. So just keep unraveling until you get where you gotta go.
I receive that.
All right.
I appreciate you. Tell my millions of fans where to find you.
So several places. You can find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I appreciate all of the support. Make sure that you guys go follow the podcast, the Inspired Life Podcast, which is streamed everywhere. You can find it on Stitcher, Apple, Spotify, literally anywhere that podcasts are being played. And then finally, go ahead and grab you guys some freebies. I have a free wellness calendar. I have free books on how to clear credit, improve credit, get rid of debt, all that kind of stuff. But go check it out. tillforever.org is the office or the shop. And then outside of that, y'all can hit me in the DMs. I do a lot, so it's too much to talk about. But if you are interested in any of these things that you've been exposed to, or furthering any kinds of conversations, or having a sister come out, I do host and I poet.
Yeah, she does.
Hit me in the DMs. But more than anything, just be well. Like, literally, I don't care what y'all do regarding me. I'm going to get where I got to go, right? Further down the road and higher elevated. But be well. Love yourself and somebody else.
Whew.
That's it.
And do something good for somebody else.
If you love it, then that's a given.
Big facts. I love you so much. You are wonderful.
Thank you.
I tell her this every single time. She's
and I'm always
wonderful.
like, I don't know why he thinks that, but I'm so grateful.
They know why now. Best Man Pod, it's your man Simba Roar back in this thing one more time. Bruh. Shout out to Defy Life Power. Shout out to Defy Life Network. Shout out to the Inspire Life Network. We bought this life, man. We bought this life.
Shout out to Icaro LLC, my podcast network company.
Hey. And we out.
And we out.
Peace.